Hello and welcome to Soul Talk with Kilfox. Right now, this is our 6th installment of my life's disclosure tapes. So on the last video, I had stopped at talking about coming back from Mississippi, getting away from that toxicity and abuse. So from then, of course I was, depressed or whatever, and it took me a couple months to be able to, look into work and jobs. And so I did. I found one. Fortunately, it was a couple cities over, which I didn't see as a big deal. It would at least allow me to have the freedom to take care of my son and everything. So that's what I started doing. My family kept my boy. When I was working. Did I start that job before or after? I actually started out, because the first thing I did was I went back to high school. I finished. I had to use night school, but I did it. And I did it all in one semester. It was done. So I did graduate. And then that's when I got the job. And it was going well for 5 or 6 months. And then all of a sudden, I had crippling anxiety rush over me, particularly when I was driving. I would be driving and I would literally, I would have blackouts. And I'm just like, this isn't good. This isn't weird. I mean, this is weird. This isn't good. And finally one day I had blacked out so bad to the point where I had to pull over, and I stopped, and I was there for I don't know how long, because I couldn't drive. And I told everyone that I knew. No one ever cared. Nobody ever cared. And it just got to the point where I was so scared. I wouldn't drive anywhere. And so I called my employment, which is Walmart. And yes, I'm gonna say that because you know how these bitches are, wanting to give you 5 cents raise once a year, like these fucking people. And I was like, look, I really need to get in to see somebody for my anxiety, because it's bad. I can't drive. And so I cannot work. And so I was trying to ask them for some time to go see somebody and then get back to it. But they were like, nah. So I had to quit. That was terrible. And this was after Hurricane Katrina. So literally finding anybody to work with me was going to be 2 months away minimum. And that's everywhere in that area, because so many people were traumatized from Katrina and so forth. So I never got the help that I needed, unfortunately. But I did things this is basically the time of my life where I started manifesting, because I was tired of everything. So, well, no, not yet. Actually, before that, so I leave my husband and we're separated. We're doing our own things. And, so I'm the one that put myself through school. I'm the one that, whatever. And this dude he wouldn't contribute shit. He wouldn't buy a pack of diapers, and he damn well wasn't putting cash in my hand. It was my family helping to take care of my son and me. And while I was separated, I think oh, I'm so sorry. Is that true? Yeah, I'm skipping parts. I'm sorry. Okay, so all right, went to Mississippi, came back. We had separated. So I'm sorry, I didn't graduate high school before the Walmart job, it was after. So by the time my husband and I had split, that's when I went into night school. Um, because I knew I needed a decent job to take care of this kid by myself. And the only way to do that was to have a high school education, or at least that's what I was made to believe. And anyway, sometime after that, I had come across a friend of his who was hitting on me, and I was like in a fuck it all mood, you know? I was like, because I was so broken hearted. Like if you're a woman who's ever been in love and brokenhearted, then I don't have to explain the feeling. It's indescribable pain. And since I had finally cut ties with him and was doing my own thing and taking care of my son on my own, again, I mean, really, I'm the only one that was ever paying for him anyway, but ran into his friend one night as I was out, and we were getting along great. It was nice. And so we decided to hang out again, and this time things got physical, and I debated with it, but it was more like, well, you know, I kind of saw it as like revenge sex, right? Because during this time that I'd been separated, everybody started coming out of the woodwork to tell me how he was cheating on me from the beginning. My husband. My cousin came out and told me this. One of his friends came out and told me this. And I'm just thinking in my head, you sorry ass pieces of shit couldn't have told me while I was in it? Who the fuck said I wanted to live that way? So all of you enabled him. All of you fucking just watched it go by and just whatever. Oh, I guess I deserved to be treated that way, right? Anyway, so that was the revenge. The revenge was because I had found out through many people after splitting with him that he was cheating on me the entire time. Dude, let me tell you, this is an ugly ass motherfucker too. Like, I was doing myself such an injustice by even like being near this stupid motherfucker. So when I found out that he was doing that to me the whole time, I'm like, do you know how many fucking hot ass fucking guys I passed up for this stupid motherfucker? Ew. What? So, you know, basically when it came time, you know, that it was feeling the romance with this other person, that was the tipping point. It was like, well, you know, at the very least, it'll be fucking revenge. Which is not good, by the way. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not advising it at all. It's not something that I normally would have done, but I was just full of emotion. And then, like, a week later, this is weird, okay? So after experiencing, you know, what I did with the guy, I didn't keep talking to him. I don't know. It's just something kind of flattened out after that. And like, I had my period. It was actually the same week that I had slept with that dude. I had my period. It was done, moved on, or so I thought. And then 1 or 2 weeks later, Found myself entangled with my boyfriend again, or my husband at the time, because we had both gone out to the same club, run into each other, and we're just trying to, like, have fun together. But the fun wasn't fun. He turned into a tyrant by the time we had made it to his house and everything, and like to the point where, like, I'm literally running from this motherfucker because he's coming after me, and people are stopping him. People are trying to help hide me. Like, it was that bad. Oh my God. And so anyway, we slept together, but I'm not, like, anyway, whatever. Time goes by. I figure out I'm pregnant again. So I just kind of kept it to myself for a little while. And then I made the announcement, because, I mean, you can't hide being pregnant. I don't care who you are. And when I finally started talking about it, it's just, I don't know, it was crazy. I was in Walmart one time walking around, and I don't know how it happened, but, like, rumors had started. And so I'm in Walmart shopping, and with my pregnant belly, and someone comes up to me and they're like, yeah, something about Frankie said y'all are having another kid and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, hadn't even talked to him, my husband. I hadn't even talked to him. But okay, whatever. And then I got a couple more rumors, but not so good things. Like, there was one time I ran into someone that, I don't know, there's a bunch of rumors going around. But at the end of the day, I stayed in communication to both these guys, because both of them understood the possibility. Decent enough, at least in my opinion. And then towards my pregnancy, I was getting more phone calls from my husband, and he was like, I know he's not my kid, or he might not be my kid. How did he phrase it? I know he might not be my kid, but something about I love you and blah, blah, blah. He was basically saying that it was going to be his son, that he would take care of him, blah, 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 blah. Which at the time made me feel good. And at the time, that was good, because it turns out over time I found out that I don't have postpartum, I have partum, which is during pregnancy. And it's the worst thing in the world. But anyway, so it made me feel good. And so I went into labor, had the child. Unfortunately, had some complications, so he had to sit in the NICU for a week. And during that time, my husband came and visited with his girlfriend, and, just checking on me and this and that. And then they left. No big deal. Well, then some time goes by, and by the time my baby is old enough to, like, well, not old enough, but, like, he was just ready to be with, or capable of being with, another person other than mama, because the baby should always be with mama at first, Anyway, so they took my son, and they took him for a week, because at the time, that's what we were doing with my older son. We were rotating week by week. And they brought both of them back home after that week. And my husband says to me, I had a DNA test done, and turns out he's not mine. And he says it with this attitude. And I'm just like, okay, but you were the one that told me on the phone that you were, wanted to be his dad and part of his life. I didn't push that on you. I never asked you. I never told you. I never begged you. You fucking came out and told me that. Now, why would you tell me that just to have a fucking test done, just to turn around and throw it in my fucking face? You knew the possibility. I don't know. So I have no idea. It's fucking weird. Other than, later on down the line, I realized it has to do with magic and witchcraft, that they were trying to do on him. I couldn't, understand at the time, couldn't perceive it in any way. No one could perceive, at least that wasn't knowledgeable of what they did to him. Anyway. So I got left with rumors swirling about how I cheated on him and got pregnant. Like, dude, why would you say I'm cheating on you? You've been cheating on me since we fucking met. But because I was honest with you, you want to turn around and just, make people hate me for it? Why? What are you getting out of it? You're stupid. And it was at that point that I literally started shutting everyone down. Friends, people I knew, I wanted nothing to do with them. Because the way I have always seen it and still see it to this day is if you can easily believe a rumor about me and you know me and you let it go and you think a certain way and you stop talking to me because of it, that's on you, dude. Because number one, do you or do you not know me? Number two, if you did, you have contacted me. You would have called me up and said, hey, I heard blah, 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 blah. Are you okay? Guess how many people did that? Not a single one. Even to this day, not a single person. Bro. Sorry, I'm hearing somebody from a different apartment. I couldn't figure out what it was at first. But yeah, God, I hate talking about this. And I know that I'm missing very important pieces to all this. I'm so sorry. It's the best that I can do. After that is when, oh God, it was bad after having my second one, because the first month of having my second child, my mom just kept asking me, like, well, how are you gonna eat? How are you gonna eat? And I'm just like, what do you mean? I literally just had a kid. I had cesarean section. Like, I'm not supposed to be working. Technically, my back isn't supposed to be working hard for a year if I want it to be normal for the rest of my life. But I've never had the luxury of healing correctly. Everyone's always interrupted it somehow, way or another. And so that month, like, she was dead serious. She basically told me that I couldn't eat with them anymore. Like, I couldn't eat anything in the house. I wasn't allowed to touch anything. And so my immediate thought was, okay, I can't work right now, so maybe I can go and I'll qualify for food stamps. These stupid ass motherfuckers, they're so fucking racist and so hateful. They declined me. I was a 21-year-old woman who pays her own fucking taxes with 2 children, who just so happen to be living under my parents' roof, who just so happen to be fucking jackasses and assholes. And she told me, she basically told me that the system was declining me because of the fact that I was living with my parents. If I was living with my parents, then they have the responsibility of me. And I just kept asking, how can they have responsibility of me when I pay my own taxes? I have paid for, I don't even want to get into it. But they were like, fuck you. So I had to go and find a job after 1 month of cesarean section. Unfortunately, it was a daycare, so you know how fucking diseases and shit like that, viruses, run through there. I fucking hated it. I needed to be at home with my baby boy. And of course, it didn't pay shit. It literally took my whole paycheck went to diapers, food for my toddler, and I think WIC was already paying for formula, so I didn't have to worry about that. But all of my money went to that. I wasn't eating. I actually started eating yogurts. That was the only thing I would eat was yogurt. And I would eat 1 yogurt a day during the day and 1 yogurt before bed. And it was so tough, and it got to the point where I had caught the flu from that place. And I really didn't want to lose my job or anything. I had called in sick on a Friday, and they told me that if I didn't show up, that I was going to be fired. And I said, you know, I don't understand. It's the flu. Your own rules are that when the flu is going around, if you have the flu, don't bring it around the children. Like, that's what they were claiming to all their students and their parents, you know? And so I decided to pay for myself a doctor's visit to see what they could do. They had this new drug that had just hit the market for flu in particular to knock it out real quick. And it did a good job, but it left me with a lot of side effects that I deal with to this day. Anyway, I did all of that just to come in on Monday. And I forgot, what was I there for? Maybe to pick up my paycheck. Oh, no. It was because I was bringing in my absentee excuse and everything, and I had all my paperwork with the prescription, everything that I took. And basically they were saying, I don't, it was just ridiculous. I forgot what there was a complication that came up or something, or conversation, where basically I'd quit. I had to quit. And as I was walking away, and this line of parents is lined up, and I'm like, so I think I might have actually been fired. I say that because I've never been fired. Might have actually been fired. But I was like, you know, said okay, and I was walking out with all these parents in line, and I'm like, I just want to let you guys know that I was just fired because I didn't show up to work on Friday because I had the flu, and I didn't want to spread it to your children. And then I left. That place should have been shut down. They did so much illegal shit. When they had health inspectors come through, they would fucking combine classes, because these health inspectors, I don't know why they wouldn't inspect the entire building on the same day, but they didn't want to do that, conveniently enough. So what they would do is they would pile everyone into other rooms so that they could pass the inspection. Because we did not have we had too many kids in every classroom. We never had enough help or hands. Yeah, it was bad. So I needed to be away from that job anyway. But, you know, I really needed the money. And so it was shortly after that I began my dancing career, because I went like 6 months of unemployment after that. having no luck getting a job anywhere with anything or anyone. And our new neighbors, actually the neighbors whose little dog was friends with our little dog, my little dog, she had come over and she said, hey, I found this ad in the paper and talking about dancing and this and that. And I was like, it sounds great, but I don't know how to ballroom dance. Like, I was not trained to ballroom dance. And she's like, oh, well, that's the good thing. They said that they will train you. And I was like, all right. Because I mean, if they were willing to do that, it was good for me to go and inspect, check it out. And I did. And they must have liked me well enough the first time, because from there I stayed there. I stayed there. I trained my ass off. It was rare that we didn't work 60 hours a week. And so my work consisted of, in the mornings from 10 o'clock to like 2, it's straight training. And we were training with a world dance champion. So, and he was fucking serious, dude. If you weren't there 15 minutes early, or was it 10 minutes? 10 minutes early. I say 15 for my own personal, schedules. But for him, it was 10 minutes. If you weren't 10 minutes early, then you were considered late. And if you were late, you were not allowed in class, period. And you were lucky if you were allowed back in altogether. Like, that was this guy. And he did. Like, I always wondered, like, if he would ever actually turn anybody away. I can't remember who it was, but they showed up. I think they were actually on time, but according to my coach's time, that's not on time. On time is early. On time is not on time. On time is early. And so he said no. He said, get out. And the dude started arguing. He must have been drinking or something that night, whoever it was, because they were like, oh, he's like, no, get the fuck out of my class. Get out of this building. I told you. If you're going to waste my time, then I have no time to spend on you. And so we would do straight practice for like 4 hours. Then we'd have like an hour to get cleaned up and ready for customers and clients to come in. Because with ballroom dancing, you're talking about adults, and then adults don't have time except for outside of work, which most people work Monday to Friday during the day. So our hours were always the busiest between like 5 and 10 p.m. And so from then on, we were just servicing students. And if we weren't servicing, we were studying, we were memorizing scripts, we were dancing, we were decorating. We would do, we ran the place. Yeah, it was a lot, which I didn't mind putting in because I felt like it was going to pay off. And while I was taken care of during the meantime, I never made enough money to live on my own. I still had to rely on my parents, which wasn't very reliable. So eventually I broke away, fell in love with another dude, who was also a plant. So just to give you a heads up as we continue, I mean, you'll find out later as we go through it, but my husband was a plant. Like, nobody, just for example, how I was telling you that he called for 6 months straight every single day, multiple times a day. Like, that was the red flag. But no, his because I didn't understand witchcraft and magic or what they do or anything like that. I didn't understand that their goal, knowing that I was a divine being, their goal was to make or convince me to have this abortion so that they could consume that abortee. And I didn't realize that. And I didn't realize that that's why their dad died, because that's what they were planning and attempting to do. Shoot, thinking back to that time, see, that's what I'm saying, like, there's so much stuff, like, when his dad died, you know, that was month of Christmas, and by the time month of Christmas comes around, you know, his dad had promised me, like, pregnancy clothes that fit me and stuff like that. They decided to buy me this expensive-ass designer bag. What the fuck am I gonna do with a fucking designer bag, you dumb fuck? Oh my god. And I'm not gonna lie, it was beautiful. It would have been a cool gesture at some point, but not when I needed things. I didn't even have clothes, but I had a fucking designer bag. Oh. Bro. I didn't get pregnancy clothes. I wound up collecting pregnancy clothes like after I made like 5 or 6 months, and I did it on my own, and I did it from thrift stores. It was all, you know, I went to one thrift store, bought what I could, and then that was it for the rest of my pregnancy. I had like 2 outfits. It was bad. But yeah, it was the first plant, and then the second plant was this guy coming into my life now that I was starting at the ballroom. My best friend and her boyfriend at the time were like, "Oh, we know the best guy for you. You should come out and meet him." And I did. I don't know. He was just weird, and I didn't really like. I don't know. I didn't like him at first. Actually, I didn't like him for a little while. And he was always sketchy. Like, I don't know, he was just sketchy. Always all over the place. Like, we went out one time. This isn't the first time I met him, by the way. We had already been hanging out, the 4 of us, a couple times, and this particular time, again, still wasn't dating this guy. We go to this bar, and then there's this table of young kids drinking and having fun, and this man decides to leave us all together, and he just starts partying with the young kids. Like, not well either. Like, he cannot hold anything. He was looking stupid, sounding stupid. He was making a fool of himself, and it embarrassed me so hard to know that he and I both showed up to hang out together with our friends, and then he fucking abandoned us for the rest of the night. And I had had enough. I just walked outside. I didn't want to deal with anyone or anything anymore. And this stupid motherfucker decides to follow me out. And of course, you know, as soon as he does follow me out, he fucking ends up puking all over the ground. And I'm just like, oh my god. Please. Like, I don't like you. I don't even want to continue with this video. We're not even an hour in. Because I feel like the next part of my life is a different, you know, it's just a different chapter. You know, once I met this guy and I started with my ballroom dancing, the story starts to shift a little. Still with all the same enemies, which I still have not completely announced to you yet. I'll let you wait to the end to find out all the hidden enemies, because that's how I had to find out, unfortunately. And I'll point out people here and there as we go through the stories, but yeah, things are a lot darker than they seem just according to my stories. They were a lot darker. I'm being as nice and clean as I can be about the content that I'm speaking about. But yeah, I'm just drained from telling this, from speaking all this. Like, you can see, like, my under eyes, like, they're like, oh no. Why are we doing this again? But okay, so we'll leave it at that. I don't know when these videos get posted because unfortunately I'm having to record on my phone, and my phone takes a whole lot longer to upload videos, especially when they're an hour long. So I have no idea how that's going to happen, but we'll make it happen. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a witness in my testimony. I appreciate you. Bye.